and let anybody else be harmed. I have always lived on the principle that if I see an injustice and I don't take active part, even at the risk of myself, then I will suffer and my family will suffer from the same conduct, because you can't condone wrong conduct. And I think we learned most of that when we had our first child, too. I think most families do. If your child doesn't behave properly, you do have to figure out ways to not condone wrong behavior. Otherwise, you're going to have a monster. I compare Health Canada, Big Pharma, and their allies to be very similar to the onion principle. As you know, a single layer of onion has no substance. However, if there are enough layers, the onion appears to be solid. If you took a mallet to the whole onion, it would disintegrate immediately. Now, if you go to the Privy Council of Canada, now, how many people in this room know about the Privy Council of Canada? Okay. It is the ruler of Canada. It is more powerful than the Governor General. It is more powerful than the Senate, it is where the power, and the clerk of the Privy Council actually runs the country. The politicians come and go, and the bureaucracy views the politicians as a new batch of kindergartens, or temps is another favorite word that they use for them. So they just view it. You've all seen those comedies called Upminster, the British comedies. It's absolutely true. Okay? So the clerk of the Privy Council combined with the Deputy Minister of Justice are the two guilty people that have allowed all this illegal conduct to continue. And they know better because they're generally lawyers, and they know what I'm saying. And I've given them information over the years. Now, the Privy Council site makes it quite clear. This is the government's own statement. Everybody is subject to the law, that no one, no matter how important or powerful, is above the law. Not the government, not the Prime Minister, not any minister, not the Queen, not the Governor General or the Lieutenant Governor, not the most powerful bureaucrat, not the armed forces, and not Parliament itself. I think they've missed that part, okay? Anyway, they say that, and this is what I refer to as the de jure. And it's very important you all understand these two words, de jure and de facto. De facto is what somebody is doing, de jure is what they're supposed to be doing. And that's how we sue them. We have a right to, you and I have a right to lay criminal charges. You and I have a right to convene grand juries. You and I have a right to sue anybody under tort law in the British systems. So we have an enormous amount of rights that we train the local activists to be able to use to hold anybody we want to accounting one way or the other. I want to give you some examples of our successes. I've worked as a team member on the Strauss with top lawyers such as Sean Buckley. In that case, there were 73 criminal charges laid against the Strauss, not only the Strauss Herb Company. This is another part that Health Canada does. When Health Canada wants to terrorize somebody, they name everybody in the family. They did the same thing with this Dr. Eldon Dahl when they went after him. So they named, Jim Strauss Sr. wasn't even involved in the company. Peter Strauss was a director. He had corporate immunity. They named the corporation. So Health Canada is terrible at abuse of law, and the Attorney General of Canada allows it to happen. And in the Strauss matter, the untold story is the fact that after Sean and I were able to get the criminal charges to go away, I coached the client to hire a top civil lawyer, and that top civil lawyer sued for Jim Strauss Sr. And in an unprecedented legal battle, they were actually able to add the private sector prosecutor individually to the lawsuit because of the misconduct for malicious prosecution, as well as the Department of Justice lawyer. So the degree in which these people are out of control is almost beyond comprehension to anyone. There's been a number, the Eldon Dahl case I've touched on briefly. He was held 11 hours. This is the wordsmithing. Traditional holistic health care. We don't want to be called alternative or complementary. We're a primary health care. So we need to be called traditional holistic health care. We don't want the word natural health products. We are either traditional holistic health care or dietary food supplements. I'll skip through this. You can get a general idea of what we're talking about here. I don't want to go over my time. You can't obtain all of your essential nutrients. So it is a simple statement of fact that nutrients from dietary food supplements is essential in today's society. I take about 14 different ones of these a day, and I'm not going to let any bureaucrat tell me or anybody else what I can or can't take for my own self. If you go to our website, we've set up a nonprofit website called Live Longer Educational Foundation. There's information on it over at my table. You can go and look up cancer and other things. It's designed to have up to 10 scientific studies, up to 10 testimonials, and it'll generally give you data on how you make informed choices on a wide range of things to try to debunk the propaganda that is so prevalent in today's society. This is just the other page of it. I have a copy here. Okay, There's information, there's applications over there. So Freedom of Choice in Healthcare is a grassroots-driven organization created in 1997. It was created specifically as a legal vehicle similar to a people's trade union in order to file the June 97 lawsuit on behalf of its members. This historic lawsuit stopped in less than 24 hours. So we filed it on June 26, 1997. The new regulations were to go in on July 1st. And within 24 hours of filing this, we had the most senior levels of the government negotiating for us to adjourn it and to wait, and that they would meet with us. And they never did, by the way. They lied, and it's all in legal documents. Freedom of Choice has continued its legal activity. We're in the process now of filing an application now to deal with the issues with Schedule F and the natural health products to get declarations to the court that they're outside federal jurisdiction. So we need your funding right now, and if we can knock those out, we can get rid of the prosecutions. And interestingly enough, if we can get things off Schedule F that shouldn't be there, everybody who ever has been convicted can be nullified. We can go backwards in time. So it's very important you understand how we all need to work together to protect our rights, past, present, and future. Freedom of Choice provides all concerned children a collective method to combine resources in order to pursue legal avenues. Another one that we're on top of today, mandatory vaccinations. Okay? Your right is not to have vaccinations. It's been decided by the Supreme Court in a number of matters, so no one in this country can force you, regardless of their excuse, to take a mandatory vaccination. We have a legal preparation kit for our members that we give all of you. So we train everybody, so if you have any incident with your children at the school, we'll actually give you a kit to take to the public health authorities. We will proactively work with you in our local chapters to go into the health authorities, educate them that there is options. Stephen Croft, I call him Dr. Stephen Croft, the ND, but I'm not supposed to call him doctor in Quebec. But Stephen Croft, a naturopathic doctor, and I had the privilege of being on a conference call with Carolyn Bennett, who's the Liberal health critic, on vaccinations about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we were, fortunately, the last one on the call. Everybody else was talking about vaccination, how to do it, logistics and all of that. So when it came to be my turn, right at the end of the call, I said, everyone on the call, of course, is aware that you can't force any Canadian citizen to take mandatory vaccinations. That's what we have to do. We have to be in the halls of power at all the places the decisions are made at all levels. We need your help locally to do that, and we need your help to feed the information up to us so that our national and provincial organizations can do the same. Unless you're there on a daily basis, you can't keep ahead of the maze of games they've created. You can go online to pledge your monthly contribution. You can download from the line, and there's also your package. There's a package to be picked up over here. Looks like this. And it's both French and English on my table at the back corner that you can get. Okay, there's membership forms. There's a French one. Same thing, the Canadian Coalition for Health Freedom was formed in 1997 to be the single voice for the industry in Ottawa. It was successful. You heard Sean Buckley talk about the largest grassroots uprising in Canadian history. It was this organization that led that. It was this organization that helped defeat David Dingwall, who was talking to us in the 97 election. The Liberals immediately feared our power for the next election, and they contacted our group. We were the ones that worked with Alan Rock, and if you look at the press conferences in the big carrot, I was standing right beside Alan Rock and all those things. They lied and double-crossed us. That's a whole other story. But it does work. You do need a lead voice in Ottawa. You need somebody who goes to Ottawa. I go to Ottawa at least once a month. I've had 3 meetings there in less than 5 weeks. And we have access to all parties and senators. I'm meeting with senators right now to try to stop C6. Bill C-51 is ready to go. The Conservatives are ready to launch it. It doesn't matter whether we have a Conservative government or a Liberal government. The bureaucracy is driving it. It's coming from the Privy Council. It's coming from the Department of Justice. It's coming from the Deputy Minister of Health Canada. It doesn't matter whether a Liberal or a Conservative government forms it. It does matter for you to join us, get Quebec activated so that they fear us in Quebec like they do the rest of the country. And we have to stop it MP by MP so that there's an uprising within the caucuses of Liberals and Conservative and Bloc parties that they're afraid of not getting re-elected, and they won't let their party leaders do things that will threaten their seats. They don't mind their party leaders threatening your rights, but they don't like their party leaders threatening their re-election. It's the only thing they fear. That doesn't mean there aren't people of good character there. It just means that that's the way the game is rigged. They need re-election. There's the membership forms. I've been very active internationally. It's important that we protect that.